So this is the ear that we're looking at, and the external ear is known as the auricle, A-U-R-I-C-L-E, but this particular ear lobe and the cartilage around it is known as the pinna. Now we have the ear hole, which is known as the external auditory or acoustic meatus. Meatus means hole, and because it can have an entrance from the external point, that's why we label it that. We go through that, and then it becomes the internal auditory or acoustic canal or meatus. Okay? Now, the end of this external ear is identified by the landmark here, which is known as the eardrum in general, but this is the tympanic membrane. So tympanic membrane literally looks like a drum, an eardrum. Now we have tiny little ossicles here that aren't the greatest visually on this particular model. So I will be looking at the image close-up that we have on Blackboard, which can be fair game for this practical. And they are here. So here we are with the tympanic membrane, and here are the ossicles. Are they missing?
I think this might be.
Oh, here we are.
Oh yeah, this one does have it.
Okay, yeah, so here's one of them, and then here's with the whole structure as well. So once again, internal acoustic meatus or canal, and then we have the ossicles. The one that is structured or situated within the semicircular canal region looks like a stirrup, and that is known as the stapes. Now, we're missing the tympanic membrane right in this direction here, but this rounded ossicle here that I just outlined is known as the malleus. So that's your hammer, but really you want to think of a mallet, a judge's mallet, because it's rounded. And then the anvil is the incus, which is this structure here. And the incus is the one that's going to be vibrating to the stapes. So they kind of go together, and these incus and malleus go together as well. So since we got those structures down, now we can look or continue to look, and I think this is representing the malleus here, and we're not able to visualize the stapes that well on this, but then this would be the incus. Okay? So then we can see that there's this rounded structure. These are the semicircular canals, and there is a vessel that connects the snail-like thing called the cochlea with those semicircular canals, and the chamber in between is known as the vestibule. And I can see that entering this area, I have cranial nerve 8, which is vestibular cochlear nerve. Now here, it doesn't branch. It hasn't branched yet until it enters the inner ear. And then in the inner ear, we branch to the cochlea, and that's known as the cochlear nerve, and this is known as the vestibular nerve. I've also seen it like the vestibular branch on the cochlear branch. So now we are in the inner ear, and this tube right here drains into the pharynx, and that is known as 3 different terms: auditory tube, pharyngeotympanic tube, or eustachian tube. You pick which one you can spell accurately, and I'm thinking it's auditory. You think it's eustachian? Okay. So this is the temporal bone that you're seeing here. So you can kind of visualize what it is that we're referring to. You are not able to visualize any of the windows on this particular model, but you can see on one of our structures on Blackboard, or pictures or images on Blackboard,
Not this.
I was able to see a oval window in person, but
It's on the other
there we go. So we can see between the semicircular canals and the cochlea on the posterior view, you could see this oval window, which is nice and prominent. There's nothing else that, excuse me, that's the round window. And there is not a good image of the oval window on pictures that I have in order to label them. Now, if I open up the cochlea, I can see the organ of Corti that's visualized within here. And now to see the stapes, it's nice and a stirrup looking. See?
And is that the incus that's connected? That's the incus 13?
No. The incus is separate.
Where's the incus on that one?
It's
Oh, it's not,
missing.
it's missing.
It's missing.